Last year, Christmas Eve fell on a Friday. My coworkers and I decided to celebrate after work with some food and drinks at a cozy little pub downtown. The place was decorated for the holidays with twinkling lights, garlands, and a massive Christmas tree in the corner near the fireplace. There were only 7 of us, and it was a pretty casual gathering. We were all in good spirits, excited to exchange our Secret Santa gifts and kick off the holiday weekend. The night started out perfectly normal. We ordered a round of drinks, shared some appetizers, and laughed about how ridiculous some of the gift ideas were. I'd brought a small, neatly wrapped box for my Secret Santa recipient, a coworker named Amanda. She unwrapped it with a big smile, revealing a set of novelty mugs with sarcastic quotes on them. She laughed and thanked me, saying it was the perfect gift. As the night went on, the pub started to clear out. It wasn't surprising. Most people wanted to get home to their families. By 10:30, it was just us and a couple of other small groups. We were seated at a round table near the fireplace, and the warmth from the fire made the whole setting feel cozy. But that cozy atmosphere didn't last long. It started when one of my coworkers, Jeff, opened his Secret Santa gift. It was a small wooden box with intricate carvings on it. At first, we thought it was just a decorative trinket, but when he opened it, there was a strange little key inside. It looked old, rusty, with an ornate design on the handle. Everyone joked about it being a mysterious key to the past or something like that, but Jeff just shrugged it off and put it back in the box. I remember thinking it was an odd choice for a Secret Santa gift. Around this time, I noticed the music in the pub had stopped. It had been playing Christmas classics all night, but now there was only silence. I glanced around and saw that even the other groups had left. It was just the 7 of us now, along with the bartender, who was busy wiping down glasses at the bar. We tried to keep the festive mood going, but things started to feel off. The lights in the pub seemed dimmer than before, and the flickering candles on our table cast strange shadows on the walls. Every so often, I thought I saw movement in the reflection of the windows, but when I turned to look, there was nothing there. Then Amanda mentioned something strange. She said she felt like she was being watched. At first, we all laughed it off, teasing her for being paranoid. But then Jeff said he felt it too. One by one, the rest of us admitted that we'd been getting the same feeling. It was like the air had grown heavier and an unshakable tension had settled over the room. I decided to step outside for some fresh air. As I opened the pub door, a blast of icy wind hit me, and I stepped onto the cobblestone street. The city was eerily quiet. It wasn't just the absence of people, it was the absence of sound. No cars, no distant voices, not even the faint hum of the city. It was like the world had been muted. That's when I noticed something strange in the snow. About 20 feet away from the pub, there was a set of footprints leading toward the building. They were deep, like someone had been wearing heavy boots, but there was no one around. The weirdest part? The footprints stopped abruptly, right in the middle of the street, as if whoever made them had just vanished. Feeling uneasy, I went back inside and told my coworkers about it. Jeff suggested we all head out, but the bartender chimed in, saying we still had some time before closing. His voice was oddly flat, like he was trying to convince us to stay, but there was no real emotion behind his words. We decided to call it a night anyway and started gathering our things. That's when Amanda realized she couldn't find her phone. We searched everywhere, under the table, around the bar, even in the restroom, but it was nowhere to be found. She swore she'd left it on the table, but it had just disappeared. As we searched, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching us. The shadows on the walls seemed to move in ways that didn't match the flickering candles, and the reflection in the pub's windows looked wrong. It was like the room behind me didn't quite match what I knew was there. Finally, we decided to leave without Amanda's phone. As we stepped outside, the icy wind cut through us like a knife. The footprints I'd seen earlier were gone, as if they'd been erased from the snow. We hurried down the street to our cars, but when I turned back to glance at the pub, I saw something that froze me in my tracks. The lights inside the pub were still on, but the windows looked dark, almost blacked out. And standing just behind the glass was the bartender, watching us. His face was obscured by shadows, but his posture was stiff, unnatural. He didn't move, just stood there, staring as we got into our cars. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the events in my head, trying to make sense of them. The weird key, the missing phone, the footprints. It all felt connected somehow, but I couldn't figure out how. The next day, I texted Amanda to see if she'd found her phone. She said she had, but her voice in the voicemail sounded shaky, like she didn't want to talk about it. I haven't been back to that pub since. None of us have. And as far as I know, Jeff still has that strange wooden box and its rusty key. Sometimes I wonder if we'd been the ones watching something, or if something had been watching us all along.